Hey guys, Truth Because Jitsu here. We're going to do some Nogi today. And what I want to focus on is a question that comes up pretty often for people who train in the gi primarily. Maybe old news to people who train specifically Nogi, but for a lot of people out there that do most of their training in the gi, the question always comes up, when I do Nogi, how do I stop my guard from getting passed in an open guard situation? Because you know, training in the gi, open guard is a lot easier to hold because you have grips. You've got cuffs, you've got collars, you've got pants. There's all sorts of ways to anchor yourself to somebody so that you can stifle their movements while you're in an open guard situation. Obviously, we don't have those options while we're doing Nogi. Most of our options involve C grips, cup grips, over-unders, collar ties that involve getting a clinch type situation on at least part or all of their body. The question comes up, how do I do it when we're in a neutral position, when we're just in an open guard, nothing has been attached, and I'm getting passed from there a lot. So we're going to go over a series or a guard option, which is, in my knowledge, one of the few no-gi guards that allows you to use a push-pull tension like spider guard does. So if you like playing spider guard, we've had some tutorials in the past, you can check them out, which involve the gi. This will have a very similar feel to it, but using no-gi, and we're not allowed to grab the clothes. So you'll see what we mean when we get into it. So we're in a situation that is completely disconnected from our partner. I like to go like this. I like to tuck my feet in like this and put my arms in like that. Keep my chin down here. This is kind of my neutral position when I'm seated and my opponent is standing. You'll see a lot of no-gi guys like to play this position. I know Eddie Cummings was very famous for it. I used to call it Wolverine guard because he'd just sit down like this and they'd walk into a wood chipper. So the objective here for me is the first thing that comes in contact when my opponent comes in. The first thing that comes in range, I'm just grabbing it like this. It's not a fancy grip, it's very straightforward. I'm just grabbing like I'm grabbing a baseball bat, okay? It's like I'm closing a trap on whatever arm comes in. Now you'll notice that I'm grabbing like this, and I'm going to have it this way while I'm seated and he's away from me. My next movement here to set up my guard is going to be to rock backwards and get my feet to his hips, but notice something with my grip here when I do it. When I come here, I'm going to switch one hand at a time to this. You'll feel why when we get there, when you practice it yourself, but having this is uncomfortable and unnatural, just the way the arms work. Here, you have strength, and this is where we have our push-pull tension, okay? We're pulling, pushing. We can stick him in this guard in no-gi without a gi on, and without any sort of lock on his body, whether it be half guard, full guard, those type of guards. This is a tension guard in no-gi. It's called 2-on-1 for obvious reasons. We're getting 2 to his 1. Again, I'm not going to try to go here when I'm seated. This is for when I lie down. When I'm here, we're like that. Okay? Now, the question comes up sometimes, should I fall back and put my posts on his hips, or should I pull myself underneath them? And the answer really is yes. You can do either, depending on your objective. If my objective is to stick him in this tension guard, I'm going to fall back and pull him into it, changing my grip, and starting my option from here. If my objective is to get underneath him and elevate, then I'm going to pull myself underneath and probably switch to some sort of leg entanglement or elevation to get a sweep or attack the legs, which is obviously very common in no-gi as well. So you can use it in either direction, leaning back or pulling yourself underneath their shadow, basically between their feet. And you'll have all sorts of options to start attacking and putting them on the defense. So let's get into some options that we have from the 2-on-1 guard. So my opponent comes in, I make my connection, I fall back, get my tension, my hips in place, and switch my grip. Now, I'm going to maintain the tension on this for the whole time, for any of these techniques, because this is really where the power in this position comes from. My first one is going to be an armbar, and this one catches a lot of people because it doesn't look like an armbar until it's on. It doesn't have all of the typical control that an armbar would have, but because of that, they don't see it coming until they feel the pressure quite often. And this happens a lot too when we get here and they start pulling away, trying to get this grip off. One thing I should note too, which I forgot to go over earlier, is the reason I'm going 2-on-1 is if I was just 1 here, he can circle out in one direction. It's always, yes, it's going to be towards the thumb. He circles out and breaks that grip. If I did it this way, he'd circle the other way. That way. Yeah, so there's always a hole here, an opening in between my hands that's going to be circlable, that's the word. When I have two on, I'm basically closing it in two directions, which makes it for a full closure around the wrist, so you can't circle it in either direction. It makes it a very sticky grip to try to get rid of. And a lot of times the first thing a person's going to try to do is pull away with this like that. That's great because what it does is it stretches his arm out nice and straight. So for this arm bar, I'm going to lift my hips off the ground and get my knees on either side of his deltoid, his shoulder muscle here, and clamp on right here. And then I'm just going to push it over top of my thigh. Okay? Let's try that from a different angle. So we make our connection. I pull him in, switch my grip. Now he starts pulling back right away. I'm going to lift, clamp, and push over my thigh. Okay, this isn't a typical arm bar that comes down like this. I lift my hip. I'm going to actually lever it against my thigh to break it this direction, that way. Okay, so we're here. He pulls away, clamp, slam. There's your tap. It comes out very fast, and a lot of people, like I said, don't see it as an arm bar until they realize that their arm's being trapped. So it's like a 1 second tap. So our next technique we're going to go over, we've gone over the arm bar, is going to be a triangle. Same thing, we make our connection, fall back, switch our grips. Here I've got both of my pushing tension right on his hips. That's great, but I'm going to switch one now, which will be the opposite foot to the arm side that I'm trapping, onto his shoulder right here. So we can play forms of spider guard with this, which would typically grab the cuff on this side and start pushing and pulling here. You can do that without the grip. You can push and pull, and he can get it out, but it can frustrate him here. It's all right. This is all right. This is better. So this is going to afford us a safety. You can't circle his arm out of it because it's on his torso, but we can still twist him like that, which would be what we're going for with our spider grip in the gi. So we've got him twisted right here. I'm going to shoot this leg past and twist my body and pull his arm all in one motion, like this. So you'll notice this arm is far across. Let's turn it. This arm is far across my body, and I'm at an angle to him already, all in one movement. That basically changed, or it saved us a couple of adjustments that we'd usually have in a triangle. Now obviously this leg is going to come around tight to the body, pull down, we're going to pull both toes up and heels down for our finish. So we've already got our 2-on-1 here. This one comes up to the shoulder, and one movement, I'm going to punch it past and twist to get the arm across and my angle to the triangle here. And quickly, we're going to circle this around, getting tight pressure against his shoulder with our thigh. Pull down. We're going to put our toes up, heels down for a very deep, very deep triangle immediately. This one comes on fast with very little adjustment necessary. All right, so the last one we're going to go over from this 2-on-1 guard is going to be a sweep option. So we've gone over a couple of submissions, our arm bar, we're clamping the shoulder, and our triangle, we're pushing on the shoulder with a foot. This one here is going to be a version of Nogi, which is an overhead aerial sweep. So I make my connection, pull back, switch my grip. Now the Nogi is better used when you have both sides here or both on the gi. When you're on one side, you're going to be pulling his weight more onto that side of the leg, which is okay. It's just not going to be directly over your head as we do this. He'll kind of go a little bit diagonal, which is fine because we're going to keep this trapped so he can't post with it. Again, we're pushing away, and when he doesn't like that and he tries pushing back in, we're going to come here, flipping him over and coming to mount. This angle. Got here, I'm pushing him. The moment he pushes back in, I'm lifting. Coming up here. It looks like a really fancy sweep, and it is. It's a nice looking sweep, but it's surprisingly easy to use when you start understanding how to manipulate their own momentum. We threw a live rolling video up there not too long ago. It hit a couple of them live in that, and this is one that I use a lot, gi and nogi. Definitely one not to forget. It's one of the better, easier sweeps that will take you right from the bottom all the way to mount. So Hope those help, guys. If you've got any questions regarding Nogi, we'll do some more in the future. Feel free to drop comments, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.